Hello, everyone. We're still waiting for some more participants to start the session, maybe 2 more minutes. So let's start our session for today. Thank you. Thank you. Just, I'll share the screen so you can join me on Slido. Okay, you can join me on Slido. Just go to website slido.com and the meeting number is 98659. Invite ID invitation number is 98659. It's mentioned on the screen right now. Please join me on Slido. Okay, whoever just messaged hi, please rename your profile from right side. You can see an icon, profile icon. Just go there and put your name so that we can see your name. And remember, there is a surprise gift on the 10th day for the best participant. Wa Salam, Sayyid Monis Ali Sahab. Thank you very much for confirming. Hello, Mr. Muzaffar Saab. Thank you. Hi, Kashif. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adnan. Thank you, others. Okay. So I think we are ready to start the session. I'm sure everybody is on Slido right now. So just let me know if we can start the session. Are we ready to start the session?
Yes, sir.
Good. All right. Thank you, Kashif. I need few more yes. Thank you, Asara. Thank you, Adnan. Thank you, Farooq. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you, Sakib. So let's move forward. So you know how we start. We start with a little recap, and that recap is like hands-on quiz. So I'm starting a quiz. Okay. Please join the quiz. All right. We have 5 participants in the quiz. 6. All right. 10 participants so far. Ten participants so far. It's showing 19 participants online. So 11 participants so far. 12. Whoever recently joined, please join me on Slido. Just go to slido.com, join the meeting ID 98659. And we are having a quiz. We are starting a quiz. Okay, we have 13 people, 13 participants in the quiz. Okay, so this is going to be a little different quiz than last time. The difference will be the number of points. So the winner will get 30 points and 4 runners up will get 15 points each. All right, so be careful, and I have increased the time limit also, so take your time. Okay, we still have 13 participants, at least, like it's showing 20, so at least we should have 15. Still a lot of them are missing. Okay, so I'm going ahead. We'll proceed with the. Okay, we have 14 people now. All right, so I'm moving ahead. The first question coming your way, but remember it's 30 points for the winner and 15 points for the 4 runners up. Okay, so let's see the first question for 30 points coming your way. Okay, which of the following is not required competency of business analyst as per the BAB? Okay. Not required competency. Not required competency. As per BAB, okay. Okay. Okay, there is no time limit for this one, so you took a little longer, but next question will be time bound. Okay, so let's see what is the right answer for this one. All right, so which of the following is not required competency? We said so. Definitely, project management
Sir,
skill
can
is
you
not
please accept the
required.
request?
Yes, it's been accepted. Okay, so behavioral skill is actually required skill for a business analyst as per BAB, okay? But project management skill is not required. If you have it, it's good. But it's not required actually. So even like there are a lot of things in which IIB, International Institute of Business Analysis, give you penalty if you answer the questions from a project management mindset. Okay, so this is very important to understand that project management skill is not a required competency for a business analyst. Okay, but if you have it, it could be good, but that's not required. Thank you very much for answers. Let's move forward to the next question. Each knowledge area, sorry. Okay, yeah. So it's 30 seconds. Each knowledge area consists of all of the following, but not. So what is out of this list we have, which is not part of the knowledge area? You remember the knowledge areas are business analysis, planning and monitoring, elicitation and collaboration, strategic analysis, and so on. Times is up. Okay, we have 13 responses. Some of you have mentioned that tools and techniques is not part of the knowledge area. Some are saying stakeholder is not part of the knowledge area. Some of them are saying project management. Most of you have answered that project management plan is not part of the knowledge area. So yes, absolutely right. Uh, project management plan is not part of the knowledge area. So for example, each knowledge area consists of some inputs. So you have some inputs. Uh, then there are tasks which you require those input for the task. Then you apply certain tools and technologies on those tasks and you get the output. And to perform these things, you need certain stakeholders to do it with you. So absolutely right. Project management plan is not part of the knowledge area. Okay, next question, please. BACCM stands for. It's an old question, but I still want to make sure that everybody learned this one. Yesterday we had lots of wrong answers. Business BACCM stands for. All right. All right. This time still we have like there are a few answers which are not correct, but at least better than before. So yes, BACCM stands for Business Analysis Core Concept Model. It's not for analysts. It's not for any conditional management. Okay, that's core concept model. Okay, next question coming your way. Which of the following is not part of BACCM, which is Business Analysis Core Concept Model? Which one is not part of BACCM? Change, value, need, concept. Okay, times is up. All right. So 29% of the people said that change is not part of BACCM. Some said value is not part of BACCM. But most of you have mentioned concept as not part of BACCM. Yes, absolutely right. So change is number one in BACCM, and we know that we have even learned that in business analysis planning and monitoring, you have to make sure that you have considered all the that how the planning will help the change, what kind of changes you are going to do into the specific solution, how a change will be managed in the business analysis planning and monitoring. Okay, and today we will discuss something more about the change control procedure. Value is also part of the BACCM. There are 6 things: change, value, need, are 3 of those lists. Context, not concept. Context is one of the thing which is included in BACCM, but not the concept. So most of you have already answered correct. Let's move to the next question.
Sir, can you please explain it again?
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
we'll explain it after the question. Please continue. Okay, how many tasks are in business analysis planning and monitoring knowledge area? The knowledge area we discussed yesterday. How many tasks are there? All right, 6 tasks. Okay, still you don't remember that, so it's okay. It's okay. I was expecting some wrong answers on this one. Yeah, there are actually 5 tasks in this knowledge area of business analysis, planning, and monitoring, and we will discuss the remaining part of it. Yesterday we had stakeholder engagement approach and the business analysis approach, which is the adaptive or predictive, and then yesterday also we had discussion on the stakeholder engagement, and today we'll learn the governance and other 2 aspects. So we'll review it today. Great. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Last but not okay. Second last question coming your way. In RACI, you remember we discussed this in stakeholder analysis. In RACI, RACI, A stands for what? A stands for accountant, accounting, accountable, analyst. What A stands for? All right. Exactly. Still, somebody was confused and they mentioned analyst and accounting as well. The right answer is accountable, responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. RACI, RACI. Okay. Last question coming your way for 30 points. Please, in stakeholder analysis, we do not analyze stakeholder attitude towards project, sponsor, skills, business analyst. What we do not analyze in the stakeholders' attitude. We had detailed discussion on that yesterday. Okay, so we have the answer. All right. Okay, so when we are analyzing the stakeholders' attitude, we analyze his attitude towards the project. We analyze his attitude towards the sponsor. We analyze his attitude toward the business analysis and the processes and the team, but we do not analyze his attitude towards his skill. All right, so that's not our area, or that doesn't make much sense about his skills. Okay, so when we are analyzing the stakeholders' attitude, okay, these are the 3 areas that we focus on, not the skills. You can analyze his domain knowledge on a separate analysis, but not while analyzing his attitude. Okay, so thank you very much. I think we have all the questions answered, and the number of answers are also increased to 18. When we started, there were 15 participants. So great. Let's see who is the winner. All right, so we have a winner today, and it's surprising, not surprisingly, I would say, Asra Nadeem have won the competition. Great, and all the answers are correct. Perfect. It seems somebody is reading in extra time. Well done, Asra. You have secured 30 points. Wow, that is a jackpot, I would say. Thank you. Thank you very much, Asra, for your participation. Excellent. Also, we have 4 runners-up, Muhammad Azhar Javed, Mohammad Muzaffar Ali Umrani, and Salik Ahmed Siddiqui. Kashif Akhtar is also a runner-up, but 5 answers are correct out of 7. Perfect, perfect. Kashif, what you need to do is you actually spent very less time on answering, and that's I've been seeing from day one. That's your attitude. You know, like you try to do things faster. So I think this is good attitude. But just try to spend more time, because you see, uh, we had enough time for that. So perfect. All of you, well done. The winner have won 30 points, and the runners up 15 points each. Perfect. Excellent. Great. Give yourself a big hand if you can. All right. Thank you. Okay. Coming back to the presentation now. So yesterday we were discussing, and I have a question also, that to segregate the difference. To segregate the difference between the what was the question from? Can you go? Maybe there is question there. Okay. Okay. I think somebody asked a question in between. I can't see the question here. Can you write a question? If anybody have any question from yesterday's session, you can ask. No problem. Just go down so we can see. Yeah. So I think somebody was asking question while before between the quiz. If you can ask on Slido, please. Or anyone have any questions, you can ask on Slido, please. Okay, so we are moving forward. Okay, so we discussed yesterday about stakeholder analysis. All right, actually we started discussing the business analysis, planning and monitoring knowledge area, and we had two major tasks finalized. One is about the approach of the business analysis work, whether we choose adaptive or predictive, and we discussed in detail that what are the elements to understand before we choose the right approach for our project. So this is one thing. And second thing, we discussed the stakeholder engagement approach, in which we had to analyze the stakeholders. Okay. Yes, okay. I have a question from Output, someone name Output. Okay. And the question is, BACCM does not focus on skills, project management skills. Yes, of course. So BACCM does not focus on project management skills. So according to the business analysis, IIBA body of knowledge, as part of the core competencies, project management is not required for the business analyst. It's not required. Okay, I'm not saying it will not add value. So it may add value, but it's not required. Even in some cases, IIBA will ask you question, and there will be 2 right answers. And one of the answer will be right from the project management perspective. Another question will be right from project management and business analysis perspective. If you answer the question from project management perspective, they will consider that as wrong. So, for example, consider this question. So consider this question that. For example, if the project is getting delayed, okay, and as a business analyst, you came up with a feature that could really increase the BACCM, which is the core concept model of the solution delivery, then what will be your action? So the answers could be that you. Anybody have any question? Right? Yeah. Yes, please. All right. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. I don't know. Okay, just don't mute right now. Maybe.
Can I
don't
ask?
know. Yes, please.
Can I
You can
ask?
Yes, please.
So this is Hassan Raza Khan. I am
Yes,
asking, actually, you have said that in BACCM, the stakeholder does not require specific skills. So you mean to say he should not have the domain knowledge as well, domain skills?
Okay.
for which the
maybe you are
project is executing for?
maybe you are missing something. The question was there are two different things actually. The skill was mentioned as not required skill of IIBA body of knowledge in the competency. Okay, and the other thing is if you are talking about the project management skill, the other thing is when we are analyzing the attitude of stakeholder, we do not identify his attitude towards his skill. So actually that's the point. So when you are analyzing somebody's attitude, so you analyze the attitude towards the project, towards the attitude towards the project, attitude towards the sponsor, attitude toward the business analyst, his team, but not his skills, because you are analyzing an attitude. This was the specific task that within the stakeholder analysis, you are only analyzing his attitude, not other things. You may analyze his skills, but that's a totally different thing. As per the question, we were analyzing his attitude. I hope it's clear now. Yeah. So please explain stakeholder should have domain knowledge. Yes, of course. If the stakeholder doesn't have a domain knowledge, how he will give you his domain's requirements? Yes. So yes. Okay. I think we don't have any other questions, so we'll move forward. Now, yesterday we learned some stakeholder analysis techniques, okay? One of them was influence and impact analysis. One of them was onion diagram to understand who we need to focus. And there is also one more thing called RACI, R-A-C-I. We discussed this in detail. Now, based on these three skills, we can do stakeholder analysis of our own projects that we are working right now, the projects that are in hand. So I'm sure all of you are already working on some projects. So you can see a small screen. You can also, right now you are seeing a screen, maybe if that is readable properly. Okay, so if you see on the left side, on the top, you can put your company name for which you are, and the project name. And on the left side, open an Excel and just start making this sheet. Okay, it's very simple. You can make it in one, like maybe a few seconds. So first column is stakeholder name. You put the name of a person who is involved in your project. So stakeholder means in the project I'm asking. So maybe project managers, developers, QA, your SMEs, subject matter expert, your domain experts, your vendors, whoever. So just put their name, and then in type, you identify they are internal or external. Okay.
One question, please. Where we have to
Yes.
input the answers in
Okay.
the.
You have to prepare your own Excel sheet if you
Okay.
have the computer. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. If you were in a physical class, there is a hard copy that comes to you and you fill, but that's the beauty of online session. You can do it in Excel. Okay. In type, you will choose its internal or external. Category, okay, this is one of the important thing. Category is your choice of word for that specific stakeholder. Okay. So for example, you can say that my category will be positive, negative, neutral. Okay. That could also be a category. Okay. Some of the good business analyst team make those things a little funnier to remember, right? As I said, that some of the teams will use words called lion. So these are the people who are, like very hard to convince, and huge influence on the project, huge influence on the others. So these kind of words also you can use, but for now you can use it positive, negative, neutral. Okay. Okay. Now you can, next thing is what's his position in the organization, which organization he is in. It's your organization or third party organization. What is his project in the, what is his role in the project? Is he a project manager, a business analyst, a developer, a QA, SME? What is he? His influence on the project. What is his influence on a project? Can he fail the project? Can he, or he doesn't have any influence on the project? So you can, here you can put like high, low, medium, high, medium, low, or you can also say that influence on the project, or you can define the specific item in which he can impact. Like for example, influence on the project, he have influence on requirement, or he have influence on the change control, or he have impact on the timelines. So you can go both ways. But right now, what we are, as discussed yesterday, we will analyze his influence on the project in terms of his power. So high, medium, low is better way to do it. And influence on other people in the project. How's his influence? So again, low, medium, high. And the remarks, last column, is very critical and important. So once you do this stakeholder analysis, it's not one day job like you do it and thank you very much. This is in planning. So you plan it and then you monitor it on weekly basis. So stakeholder analysis is done on weekly basis. So you have to analyze that you have to analyze that their influence, their attitude towards you. So if it's negative, you have to plan something. So last column is the planning column. Okay, you plan for it. So for example, if somebody you categorize as negative, okay, and his influence on the project is high, then what I need you to do is in the plan section, write few things that you will do to change his attitude or change his category from negative to neutral. And then later on we will plan for from neutral to positive. Okay, I hope you understand. If anybody have any question, you can write on Slido so I can repeat it again if it's not clear. Category for now, positive, negative, neutral for now. But as I explained, when you are in a business analyst team or there is a division of business analysts use words like you can gamify this, So I remember I was developing a business analyst division in Malaysia, a CMMI level 5 company, and they decided to categorize their stakeholders as like the lions and foxes and all this stuff. And it was beautiful to see their plan for converting fox to to a better animal. I can't name it, and then later on to the lion. So now I think it could make sense, right? So this is the gamification in your business analysis division. But again, for now, for your easiness to start with, positive, negative, and neutral is a good idea. Type is your internal or external. Sakib is asking question type. So type is internal or external for now. Okay, now this is not a standard sheet or world standard sheet for stakeholder analysis. You can put anything. You can even put RACI ahead, and then like they can choose it. So that's okay. But this one helps you analyze what you have, what stakeholders you have right now. So I want you to just start doing it and let me know once someone finish. Okay, the person who will do it first will win 10 points. Sir, what kind of plan we develop for external holders? Okay, see, if they are externals, like so they and how much influence they have on project and how much influence they have on other, and are they positive or negative? So if they are positive and neutrals, then it's okay. But if they are really negative and have high influence on the project, then definitely you have to have a plan to first when you say he is negative, then you have to first understand why is he negative, right? What is the root cause? And there's 99% of the time the root cause can be fixed, but 1% of the time not. So whatever is 99% of the time it can be fixed, so you can fix it. Okay, maybe he's not clear about the objective, maybe he's not accepting the change which is been applied, maybe he's not convinced with the idea, maybe he is not he have concerns over the timeline maybe. So you have to have a time, understand why he's negative and then plan to fix it. Okay, Sayed Shahab is asking a question, how we can change the type? What will be the strategy? Okay, that's my question from you actually. What is your strategy? First fill it and let's see how many negative stakeholders you have you are identifying in negative, and tell me what's your strategy. That should be your answer. Now you know that how much important a behavior is. So we discussed this yesterday. If somebody is negative, then you have to confront him. You have to talk to them. You have to find why they are negative. This is number one. Find why they are negative, and then act on it. So prepare the sheet. Put negative things who are negative, and then we will. If you did do it first, we will discuss your sheet. So please, whoever done first, we will give 10 points for the winner. Any other question? Great. So everybody is already doing it. Great. All right. So I don't have any questions on Slido, so I'm feeling everybody's already doing it, which is good. Perfect. Okay. Meanwhile, you are doing the stakeholder analysis. Okay. Azhar Javed is asking question. Please explain category again. Category will be positive, negative, and neutral for now. But later on, once you advance, you can use like a little bit funnier name. Okay, so Sayed Shahab is saying I have lots of stakeholders, but most of them are neutral, not negative. So you have to convert them to positive. Okay, Muzaffar have done it. Well done, Muzaffar. So you can share your screen. So you can share your screen. I have stopped sharing my screen, so you can share now.
Okay.
All right, great. This seems good. You can a little bit zoom so we can see it properly. Great. Okay. All right. Excellent. This seems good. Okay. So all of your stakeholders are internal. Okay. And some of your okay. Okay. I understand why you can't show the name, so that's okay.
I can show the names.
You can show the name. Okay. You can show the name. So means nobody's sitting here, huh? It's in. Just make sure. Okay, it's okay. I think this is more than enough for me. So what you are saying, there are some end users which are negative, sponsors neutral, and few negative. Okay. Now, what I would be interested. So if somebody is negative and he have high influence on the project, which is, yes, exactly this person. So yeah, he is a team lead. Okay. Okay. So what we need, we need to know what would be your plan for that as a business analyst. First, do you understand that what's his? You have to understand why he's negative, right? If he doesn't like your face, then you can't fix it.
No, no. Actually, first let me explain why he's negative.
Yes,
You can
please.
say we are doing the two projects at a time. So
Hmm.
his priority is the project one he is doing, and the other
Hmm.
project in which I am actually involved. So his attitude towards this project is negative. So
Okay.
now I have, usually it happens in everyday life. There are multiple projects we are doing at same time.
Hmm.
So team leads wants that this should be on priority basis, this should be on the priority basis. So that is the reason. And now my plan would be that I will convince him that this project is the more important, or this is the regulatory one. I will assure him that working on this project will not impact on the other projects. I
Yeah.
will have a dialogue with him.
Yeah, one more way, I don't know if it qualifies for your scenario or not, because you are in the organization, you know it better. But like having this this is very common thing, like when people, because we are in a multitasking environment, nobody's doing one job, so everybody's doing multiple jobs and multiple works schedules, and even like multiple projects as well. So nowadays, like in HR, there is one thing very famous. We call it, like in corporates, we don't hire a person when we need a person. We don't hire a person when we need 1.5 person. It means like there is a job of 1.5 people. We don't hire. We still don't hire. Even when we have a job of 1.75%, we still don't hire a person. We distribute it on the existing team. But when we need two people, we hire one. This is very common, like it's been, there are studies cases recently. So this is so that's very common, and it will be increasing with time. So what you are facing is genuine, and your plan is good. I think that's what you should do. The more you talk, the more rapport you develop, and the more emphasis you do on your project will really help. So the most important thing for anybody who is not convinced to your idea, whatever it is, like is it a project or whatever, is to identify the benefit for him in this idea. This is very important. So like what we used to do may fit or may not fit your thing, but is like, when we go to any organization and we are doing project, the best way to increase everybody's interest is to put that project success as part of the major KPI for the evaluation of yourself as well as for the users. So means like their major KPI, like for example, they feel that change, but it's not easy. They might go against you as well. But that has to be done, and should not be done by you. You can just like inject that idea to bind their thing, but this is one of the thing that like if that project success is linked to their performance, their increments, bonuses, etc., that helps a lot. If it is a small project, it doesn't worth doing it, but a project which are on a larger scale, this really helps a lot. Another way of like changing from negative to positive, uh, in this specific scenario, it may suit you, is to like to start discussing the idea with his bosses, maybe, like, and it's just this, the importance of, just notify the importance of this project to his bosses, and say, like, this guy is doing a tremendously great job. This team lead is doing a tremendously great job, and this project is so critical. So telling him, also telling his boss. So like his boss should also tell him, yeah, you are working on a very big project, a very critical project, and I got a feedback that you are doing a good job, although he's not. But this could also inject some fuel in this, that like the project I'm working, I'm listening to, like there are backbiting on other project, people are not appreciating, but there I'm not working that much, but at least somebody is appreciating. So like things could change in your way. But see, the point here is you invest few minutes and now you have an idea that could little bit change few things. You get my point? So that's the point. Like these formats or these analysis techniques that we are going to learn will help you to increase your thinking capabilities. So when you
I
think,
got
you
it.
really great. Thank you. So I hope it's clear now. So we'll move to the. Thank you for sharing. You can stop your share so I can share again. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so anybody still have any questions on stakeholder analysis? Thank you, Asra. You have done it, but our plan was to discuss one. But definitely, you can email me or stakeholder analysis. Anyone who have done it and want my feedback, you can definitely send it to me. Kazi will share my email address at end of the session. Okay. So that's it. Sayyid Shahab Haider is asking why we are not putting RACI information in this stakeholder analysis. Of course, beautiful question, Shahab Haider. Nobody is stopping you. Put it, no problem. Add it. It's okay. Uh, nobody will stop you do it. Namaz break we scheduled at 4:40, right? 4:40. Sakib, our namaz break is 4:40. Okay, Saqib is asking about question. Okay, Hassan Raza, I have also done the same which you are discussing. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you. Okay, so let's move forward. 4:30. Okay. Okay, now we are moving to the third task, which is business analysis plan, business analysis governance. I again want to remind you, don't go for the big words. Like governance is same thing as change control. So this is what we are going to discuss. Okay, you can the two documents that we have made previously in task 1 and 2, which is business analysis approach and stakeholder engagement approach. These two will be input in the business analysis governance, and the governance approach will come. Okay, it's actually a change management plan, which is the governance approach here. Okay, so again, in this task, you have to actually plan that how decisions will be made in your project for business analysis, not the project management. You have to understand that project manager will control the change in the project, whereas controlling the requirement change and the solution change is your responsibility. This is the one of the big thing that the companies which do not have proper business analysis division, or we also call it business excellence division, the change in requirement is not properly maintained. Okay, so there is no change control over the requirement, although if the scope is creeping, breaching timeline, then it goes through the change request form. But if the requirement itself is changing from stated between the analysis phase, there is no change control. Actually there should be. Okay, and that's what you are going to develop as business analyst. I'm not saying do it today and start implementing tomorrow and stop everything what's happening in your organization. That's not the case. You have to discuss it with the relevant people, and then decide. Okay. Okay, so so you have to just see that how decisions will be made in your project. So who will make the decision? Will there will be a change? What will be the change control process? What documents will be considered? What if it's very formal project, like you are using the predictive approach, as we discussed yesterday? There are two major approaches: predictive or adaptive, which is change driven. If you are using predictive, the change control process will be very formal. Okay, and you have to identify what things you will control change, what things you will not control change, what type of requirement, what is the state of the requirement that you will consider as final, and after that it will follow the change control process in the requirement. Okay, what designs will you will finalize, and then how it will be changed if required. So this is very important. When somebody need change to the requirement, we have to follow the certain process. it could be very less formal, it could be very hugely formal with sign, stamp, and all this stuff, but it has to be there. It could be, you can say that I will only manage the versions of the requirement, there will be no sign off, it's okay, but there should be at least a process. Then you have to plan in advance. Now still the project is not started, the business analyst project is not started, and you are planning the prioritization approach. So for example, if you get lots of requirements you will get in the project, right, in the business analysis project, which requirement will be done first, which requirements will be not done first, how the requirements will be prioritized, like which requirement will be considered in first release, which requirement will be considered in second release, which requirement will not be considered at all, okay, which are wish list we call it. So you have to plan that approach today. You have to agree with everybody that if a requirement does not fulfill this criteria, we will not consider this as priority. We will only consider the requirement priority which has this criteria, like business critical, financially critical, technical requirement. Otherwise, will not prioritize that requirement. So this is you have to decide on the day one. Okay. Then we have you have to plan approvals, that how will be the approval process, who will make the request, who will review the request, who will approve the request. If it is very formal, then proper name should be there. If it is not formal thing, like the approval process is very informal, like in change driven processes, then you can just make it like, like the approval process will be on email or in discussion or in verbal discussions, so that will be okay, but at least the change process should be there. So this is actually the output of this whole exercise will be governance approach, business analysis governance approach. It's the same document as change control, change management plan, CMP, that project manager is doing for the project, you are doing for the business analysis activities. Okay. We'll move to the next topic, which is business analysis information management. Okay. This is actually a document control or information control, information management task actually. Okay, so all the three tasks that we have created, all the three documents that we have created earlier, which is business analysis approach, stakeholder engagement approach, and the change control process or change management plan or governance approach, is input in this task of plan business analysis information management, and then you make then it creates 4 documents out of the task. So one of the output of this task is information management approach, and then but this document goes to 4 different requirements, which is communicate, business analysis information, traceability of requirement, maintenance of requirement, and the requirement architecture. So they will use this document because once the requirements started coming in, they will use the document to understand how to store and how to store the changes, how to track the changes. Okay, so this is the document. Now let me show you how this document will be created. It's very simple. Actually, you have to at planning stage, you have to just identify what business analysis information I'm talking about, not the requirements, not the solutions, not the designs, not anything, the business analysis information, which means BRD, SRS, like the specific documents, so maybe minutes of the meeting, so that's what I'm talking about, the document, not the content, the document. What documents will be created, which formats we will use, what is, whether those formats are right format for this or not, what level of abstraction we will use in the discussion, like if it's a minutes of the meeting, it will be action items only, or the whole discussion will be there, will there be a minutes of the meeting or not. Okay, so what documents you will use, what level of abstraction will be there in the documents, what traceability approach you will use. Traceability means the version controlling of the requirements as well as the documents. Okay, so what traceability approach we'll use, we will discuss the traceability in detail. So you will then know that what are the rules of the traceability, how to trace, and we will discuss also some tools which are very good to control the traceability of requirements. The document traceability is simple, like you can version number the document. So whatever how you want to do it, just you have to agree on certain thing and plan certain thing in advance, that we will name our document like minutes of the meeting, date, then version 1, and then if there is any changes, version 2, then version 3. So the pre-text is same, the version number is changing. Also, you have to understand that if any requirement comes in, for example, you are a BA of core banking domain, for example, but you know you have your friends are in other domains, as well as you know the other parts, investment part of the thing as well. Now you are making one, you came up, there is a requirement in which you have to develop a program, for example. Okay, now that program is it could be useful in other divisions. Okay, now you have to plan today that if we come across any requirement which can be used in by other developers or other business analysts, I will put it in that Excel sheet. Okay, so later on, if somebody have the relevant requirement, he can just search on that sheet and find out, all right, it's in this project, so he can call you and you can explain him how you did it, so he can use your same program or same requirement or same screen, same module. So this is very important, like sometime in a huge organization like yours, uh, because we are working in isolations, we are working in silos. So a lot of work we are doing is a rework, like a lot of time we are writing, every department is writing a code, and moving it from one department to another department. So this is very important, that if you can use the same program in advance, then how you plan to communicate those requirements to know down, so you can use the same program and save a lot of time of not writing the code again. So you have to plan it in advance, that do you feel that there are areas which will be reusable, and if yes, then how you plan to communicate, or how you plan to communicate those requirements to note down, or you want to search somewhere for reusing the requirement in your project. Okay, so this is you plan here. This, if you plan in advance, this could save your time. So it's not like what you are getting you will store it for other people, but it's also a planning that if you really can talk to other business analysts and other developers or other teams and find out that this area, what they know and what have they developed in this area, to reuse their code. For example, if you are making an app, okay, and that app has some feature of reading the phone book, for example, okay, and selecting the contacts and then maybe sending invites or something. Now you know that this is part of my scope, and I have to do it. So you can plan that I can maybe reuse this requirement. I can talk to other developer for XYZ app. They also have certain feature like this, so we can reuse that code. So this will save your time and cost significantly. So this is what you are planning. Okay, here in advance you are planning. Then you also plan how to store and access the information, like where will there be a folder, or I'm using some work portal, so what will be the, in that portal there will be a folder. What will be the structure of that folder? Will there be a folder for PM, BA and everybody, and in BA, how, what kind of folders will be there? There will be a folder for minutes, there will be a folder for SRS design, and how it will be named and how it will be accessed. Okay, and who will access it? So this is, you are planning in advance today before the project started. And also one of the very important thing that you plan today is the requirement attributes. When you collect requirement, you only collect requirement, you don't collect the attributes. Like the priority of requirement is one attribute, who gave this requirement is one attitude. When this attribute, one of the important attribute of requirement is when it is given, date, by who, what is the priority of this requirement. So there are lots of different, what is the complexity of this requirement, like in order to implement that requirement, how complex it will be. And then what is the business value of this requirement or business significance of this requirement, what is the urgency of this requirement. Okay, so these are all the requirement attributes. We'll discuss those requirement attributes in detail. But remember, so you have to, once you collecting requirement, you have to assign those attributes as well. But remember, the larger the number of attributes, the harder it will be for you to create to manage the requirements in future. So you have to pick and choose very important one here. Okay, so this is how you, these are the tasks that will make a document for you, which you will call business analysis information management approach. okay, which will be consist of how the business analysis business analysis information will be organized, what is the level of abstraction that you will use, which kind of traceability you will use, how the requirements will be reused, what is your plan for reusing the requirement, and is how the documents will be stored and accessed, and the requirements attributes that you will consider. Okay, here we will take a break for 10 minutes for Salah. Okay, so currently the time is 4:28. So we'll consider 4:30. We'll meet at 4:40. Okay, 10 minutes break. Thank you, everyone. And once we will come back, we'll take questions and then we'll continue. Thank you. Let's start with the questions. So everybody joins meanwhile. I have few questions. Okay, I have few questions. I got two questions. One for explaining the level of abstraction and the requirement for reuse. I have two questions for that. So let's take this question first. So I'll repeat. What is the level of abstraction? See, we are in a knowledge area. First of all, you have to understand we are in the knowledge area of business analysis, planning, and monitoring. Okay, so we are actually planning something. Okay, and in the planning, we are on the task of business analysis information management. That how we are planning that how the information of the business analysis as a whole project of business analysis will be managed. Okay, now when you are managing an information, the first or I would say the most important thing is the level of abstraction. So for example, level of abstraction means the level of details that you will be maintaining. So if the project, as I mentioned, is predictive approach, like it's a lot of formality is there, a lot of detail is there because of the risk, time, duration, or the regulatory requirement, then the level of abstraction should be high. Okay, you have to put a lot of information, like in minutes of the meeting, you have to put details, timestamps, who told you, XYZ. So this is the level of abstraction, the level of detail. And level of detail and the level of formality in the information is called level of abstraction. Okay, so and also you have to understand one thing, that level of abstraction may differ for each document. For example, you would say minutes of the meeting, the level of abstraction is very high. Okay, but for we will also do a weekly snapshot for executives. Okay, so this will be a high level snapshot which will have high executive summary sort of thing. So their level of abstraction will be different. So you have to understand that within the formal project, you have to define where you will put a high level of abstraction, where you will put the low level of abstraction. You can't give executives a whole document. There will be an executive summary, so their level of abstraction is different in the executive summary or in the minutes of the meeting. So this is for the predictive approach. Now, for example, let's talk about change-driven approach. In change-driven approach, you would say that the level of abstraction could be low. So if who give this requirement, when the requirement of given doesn't make much difference. So the only thing difference is in email that these are minutes of the meeting, that these are the new requirements, these are the changes, this is the suggestion for the next sprint. That's more than enough. So that's the difference. You see how minutes of the meeting and the minutes of the meeting of change driven and how the minutes of the meeting in predictive is different. Okay, so I hope it's clear. If it's not, let me know that so I can give you another example to explain. Through FTP can also be accessed for system may upload file. Yes, you can do it, but that's the point. Today you decide that how it will be stored. So this is good. Yes, FTP or work things. Thank you, Asra. Can you please repeat level of restriction? Okay. Also, I had a question on reusability, reuse of requirement, plan for the reuse. So there are two aspects of planning the requirement for reuse. Let's discuss the first aspect. The first aspect is you are planning to use your requirement for other projects, your own project requirements, your own business analysis requirement for others. Okay, this is so. For example, you are working on a project and you know that this project came because SBP have changed the regulation. Okay, SBP, State Bank of Pakistan, or any regulator have changed this regulation. That's why you are working on this project. Okay, now you know that not only I will be working on this change. There will be a lot of people who will be working on this change, that specific change. So you can plan today that if I do certain tasks, that can be reused in other projects. You get my point? So this is one way of saving time and cost. This is one aspect of letting your requirement be reusable. Okay, especially regulatory requirement, compliance, quality related things can be reused. Second thing is, you are planning a project today and you know that there will be lots of requirement that I can reuse from other project. So you plan that in advance, not the specific requirement, but the high level that I can take this, and then you plan for it, and then you act on it and find out. That will be another execution thing. But right now you are only planning. Okay, so this is the requirement for reuse thing. I hope that is also clear. Okay, I have a question from Syed Shahab Heather. Can system analysis and design be considered as a BA information management approach? Yes. Okay, here I would like to clear one more thing as well. See, we are in business analysis, planning and monitoring, we are making approaches. This is very important. We are not defining activities. We are making approach. There is a difference between an approach and the task. So we are making an approach. We are making, you can say, a guideline. We are working on a guideline. You understand? So we are making a guideline that this is how it will be done, and then everything comes in between. So yes, design. Because you are making an approach, you will say that in my business analysis approach, in this information management approach, design document will be considered in business analysis information. FS will be considered if you decide. Okay. So I hope this answers your question, Shahab. If anyone have any questions, you can ask now, or later on, just write it on the Slido so we can take it up at later stage. Okay. The requirement attribute is one of the most important thing, and we will discuss requirement attributes in detail in coming slides, and you will be astonished to understand that. Okay. Now we are discussing our last task in business analysis, planning and monitoring. So the first task was business analysis approach. The second task was stakeholder engagement approach. The third task was governance approach. The fourth task, the last task, was the information management approach. And now the fifth and last task is business analysis performance improvement. Now, we will be doing two tasks in business analysis performance improvement. First, we have to plan that what we will measure in business analysis, this project, what we will measure for business analysts to evaluate whether a specific business analyst activity in the project is right or not. Is he doing right or not? Okay, or is he doing efficiently or not? This is one aspect of business analysis planning, business analysis performance improvement. You plan the measurable criteria. And the second aspect would be to monitor the performance of business analysts as per those criteria to find out whether he's doing it right or not. Okay. So in business analysis performance improvement, we are identifying a criteria and then we'll be evaluating based on criteria and taking actions. Okay. Hopefully that is clear. Let's move to the details of it, how we do it. Very simple. We do the performance analysis, and based on the performance analysis, we find out what is happening right and what is happening wrong. Okay. Before doing the performance analysis, we have to first make the criteria, the KPIs, the performance indicators, the assessment factors that based on what we will be assessing. So our assessment factor could be accuracy. Like how accurate business analyst is getting the information or requirements, how accurate are those requirements, or how accurate those requirements are in terms of problem solving, the problem you are working on, how effective business analyst is to get the accurate requirement which to solve the specific problem. I mean, okay, so if you are getting like 20 requirements and 18 of them are implementable, two of them are not implementable, it's mean you have an accuracy of 90%. Okay, same thing, knowledge. Does the BA have the right knowledge for the activity, or he is suffering in this area? So you can guide him on the knowledge base, which can help him. How effective he is in this project in terms of achieving the timelines, in terms of achieving the solution that he is designing, in terms of satisfying the customer. Is the organization support in this project is good? Organization support, the end user support, the requirement quality, the stakeholder support, the project manager support, the sponsor support, all this support is there or not? Significance, so strategic, like for example, is this project still aligned to the strategy? Is it still giving the results that are required for the business, or we are just doing a project on somebody's for somebody's satisfaction? Okay, is the project on timeline? So this is one of the things. So usually, see, what we are discussing here is totally different than the project management. Project management was more focused on cost, time, and budget, but our performance monitoring is more focused on the accuracy, the knowledge, the organization support, the effectiveness. How many problems have you solved so far as part of the list? Okay, and then based on this, you analyze, you get the data. So you can get this data very easily, because things are happening in front of you. You are a business analyst lead, and you want to analyze the performance of your business analyst. You talk to end user, how efficient he is. You see the designs and you click that, what is it really solving the problem? How many times the requirement is changing? Because if the requirement is changing frequently, it means that the requirement is not collected properly from in day one. Okay, so then you analyze those results and then you take action. There are three different type of actions that you can take. One is the preventive approach, which is, you can say that what you can do to prevent this action. Like for example, if you see that business analyst is suffering in the domain knowledge, help him, guide him. Or if he's suffering in the organization support, then you have to work with him to increase support area for him, or maybe personally support him in a specific area if needed. So this is preventive. Then corrective, for example, timelines are missed, tell him to if timelines are missed, then you help him to achieve the timeline for future assessments. Improvement means you do something today that will reduce the time for future. Okay, so preventive means you are just avoiding the failure. Corrective means something has failed and you are trying to achieve that failure and make it success. Improvement means you are doing something today that will save time in future. Save time, increase efficiency, increase business analysis efficiency and effectiveness in future. Okay, like for example, this training. So there are video recorded sessions, there is a book here. Now some new business analyst joined you, and you want to make sure that he increase his efficiency during the project. So you give him this video, give him the BOBOK guide, give him guidance, arrange a small training sessions for him. So it will increase his efficiency for future. Okay, so this is one of the thing that we discuss in business analysis performance improvement. Okay, so the very important technique which is only used in this task. Okay, now a small very small quiz, we are going to have it here, but not on Slido, it will be on the screen. Okay, before going into that small quiz, we'll have a question. Mr. Muzaffar is asking how much time BA should take on project of 3 months. It depends what the project is. So for example, if the project is process re-engineering, so it's from day one to day end is actually for whole 3 months, it will be business analysis will be there. Okay, if a software development project and it's in Scrum model where every sprint have requirements software tested and implemented, so business analyst will also be there for 3 months there. But if the project is like predictive model, where like business analysis is involved in requirement gathering and then designing phase. So the whole development phase is not there. Then in UAT he will be engaged again. So in that case you can reduce the time, but trust me, uh, uh, if if he's an effective and efficient business analyst, he will not leave the project during coding. So what he will be doing, a good business analyst is in software development projects, they even talk to the developers on daily basis to make sure that they got the requirements correctly, and there will be no surprise in the UAT or testing phase. Okay, so because see, we are in the human and character approach, like if we are not in the physical session, usually when we were doing a physical session, I do an exercise in elicitation, which is coming next. In that there is a very simple software development mechanism that we follow, 20-minute exercise, where you will find out that what customer have said and what developer will develop, it's a significant difference. So the good business analyst will understand this point and will not leave the project uh, alone if he's, because his area of expertise or his objective is delivery. So his role is there always. Maybe it reduce at certain points, but it will be there. I hope I answer you, Muzaffar. So let's move to the next. Let's move to the next slide, and if anybody have any questions, so you can write on Slido. Okay, so this is how the exam works. We will discuss details of the exam later, as I said in the last session, but I'll be giving you a little bit glimpse on how the exam works. So the exam will have questions like the one I am asking, as well as the one you see on the screen. So it might will ask you that, for example, Ms. Sarah is defining a business analysis approach, and what technique she should use to enhance to choose the right approach for this specific project. And they will list you 4 different techniques, and you have to choose one technique which is specifically for this area. Now I'll ask some question that you can tell me that, like for example, what do you think on the Slido? Tell me on Slido, what do you think a business analysis, plan business analysis approach while we are planning the approach? You remember, while we are planning the approach, what is approach? Predictive, adaptive. Remember, while planning that approach, what is the most significant technique that you think from the right side? On the right side, there is a list of techniques. Which technique do you think is most significant while defining a BA approach for the specific project? Tell me on Slido. The first participant will get 1 point. Estimation workshops. Okay, I got 2 together, so we'll give. Okay. Lot of mashallah together answers, so everybody will get 1 point. No problem. Keep coming. Estimation is the most significant one for planning the approach. Absolutely right, I would say. Yes. Workshops. Azhar is saying workshops. Actually, maybe you might didn't understand the question. So the question is planning the approach. You remember the predictive and adaptive? Which of this would be most significant? Okay, yes, workshop could be the one, but most significant. Brainstorming, yes, Hamid. Hassan Raza, process and estimation, process modeling and estimation. Okay, yes, could be. Brainstorming, I got a lot of brainstorming here. Yes, I think this could be one of the significant. Lesson learned, Kashif, you always surprise me. Yeah, this is, if you ask me, my experience of business analysis before the business IIBA was born, yes, it's lesson learned. Trust me, this is the most significantly important approach, your lesson learned, if you are really recording them. So lesson learned is the most important thing while you are defining the business analysis approach. It will tell you that what went wrong in past and why you should not or should do it. So this is I think good. All other are important. Brainstorming, estimation, as mentioned in first one, this is also important, because estimation is driving the approach. If the project is big, it will it will definitely you can't go for predictive approach, you will go for change driven approach. But here, like nowadays, because companies are more and more towards agile, so they don't, even if they have a project of 1 year, they will not consider it 1 year, they will consider maybe like 6 sprint of 3 months. So that's what this is changing. Estimation is good, estimation is the most important, but for me I would say lesson learned is also very important, more significant. But the problem is we don't have lesson learned always. Yes, we did not get any slide till yet. Why? Okay, I think Hassan, you have to talk to Mr. Kazi. I'm giving, he is writing his number right now on Slido. You can write your number. You can write your number. Okay. At the end of the session, I'll give him the microphone so he can give you his phone number and also my email address. So you just talk to him. He's sending the slides. And today, guys, everyone note, today I'm going to send you the BA-BOK. Okay, so if you don't know the details of it, then you will know it today. So I'll send you a BA-BOK today. This is the right time. We are in the 4th session. Tomorrow will be half of the session. So this is the time when you should start referring to that book. Okay. Hassan, for slides, Kazi have already sent you. If you haven't received it, Kazi will share his number. But it's better to talk to Ms. Shakila. What's the HR name? Shakila? Okay, sabko chalegi. Okay, okay. So beautiful. I think the first answer is correct. Lesson learned is more significant, but whoever have mentioned other task, he is right. Okay, okay. Now, planning the stakeholder engagement. While we are planning the stakeholder engagement, which one do you think is the most significant approach? Abdul Hamid Khan, thank you very much. Survey and questionnaire. Okay, so you are thinking that we should send them a survey and questionnaire to analyze their attitude, and this is great idea. This is great idea. Okay, good. Okay, anyone else? Okay, interviews. Yes, interviews. Muzaffar, survey and questionnaire again. But yes, interviews. Meeting people before start of the project and understanding that what is their attitude towards it. Yes, this is important. Lesson learned, of course. How is this? If he was involved in a project that had certain issues and it's the same thing happening again and again. Yes. Scope modeling, yes. Workshop, yes. Interview, I would say interview. I would go with the interview, but we will learn that interview is the hardest technique. We will learn this in elicitation maybe today or tomorrow. What's happening? It's automatically moving. Okay, okay. Scope modeling, yes. Raki metrics. I don't see this Raki metrics in the list of techniques here. Anybody? No. Okay. Lesson learned, scope modeling. Yes, absolutely right. Okay, now let's move to the next aspect, which is governance or change management process or change control process, change control document, the BA governance. While defining the change control process, what do you think is the most significant? Item tracking. Yes, exactly. Okay, yes. Reviews. Okay. Item tracking again. Item tracking, of course, you can't win without it. Yes, I think everybody get it right. In defining the business analysis information management, when we are creating an approach to define what information will be managed, what will be the level of abstraction, what will be the amount of details we'll put into our system, how the documents will be stored, how the documents will be accessed, okay, and how the requirements will be reused. Which one do you think will be more Most and mind mapping, yes. Okay. Process modeling is one of the way. So which do you think is the most? Yes. KPI and matrix? No. I would see. Muzaffar have mentioned KPI. No. I want to clear why not, because this is very logical answer. If you would have asked me if I'm not a business, if I'm not a CBAP, I would have answered the same thing, Muzaffar. So you are not wrong, but I want to clarify why not. Because see, we are talking about an information management. Okay, information management is, we are not actually discussing performance at all the performance related stuff in business analysis goes to performance improvement approach, which is the next task. So whenever you see anything related to performance, there is a word called performance. It goes to that task only. Okay, so that's the reason. Otherwise, if there was no task of business analysis performance improvement, it would have part of the information management, I would agree. But because it's there, this answer is wrong. But again, it's a good try. Questionnaire, mind mapping, modeling, estimation, yes. Okay, so you are absolutely right. Okay, now while defining while identifying the performance improvement approach for business analyst or business analysis work, which is the most significant, technique that you will use, matrix and KPI. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes, Asrat, perfect. Matrix and KPI. Workshops, yes, of course. So workshops, why workshop? This is very beautiful answer by Abdul Hamid Maiman. Workshops, why workshop? Because workshops are to help to get the performance. How are you performing? This needs this workshops kind of things. Yes, okay, I get it. Okay, I want to discuss something. I want to highlight few things here. This will help you in exam as well as in your career. If you see, matrix and KPI is only specific for one single thing, which is performance improvement. Okay, this is very important. And estimation, which very well highlighted in our first question by I forget the name, but so it was estimation, which is I told you that's the only thing for business analysis planning and approach. Okay, these are two important things. There could be question, okay, and they will put a lot of things, but if usually they put those things which are very specific, like for example, they will put which is only used in BA performance improvement. They could ask that Ms. Sara is working on a project and she wants to understand how the business analysis project is going. So what technique do you think is more important? So there will be lots of technique that you feel will be important. But if you see matrix and KPI, that they will definitely put that there. Okay, that's the open question in this scenario. Okay, one more important thing, if you focus lesson learned, process modeling, survey questionnaire, brainstorming, and interview. Okay, these techniques are used by all the tasks, okay, in planning. Okay, may not be true ahead, but here it's true. Okay, at least for business analysis plan monitoring. So remember, there could be another techniques, and if you see any of them, this is true for planning monitoring. Okay, so this is just a little insight from here. Now let's move forward. If you have any question, you can ask now, or I will ask question. Okay, I don't have any questions, so then I'll ask question. Okay, let's see who answers the question first. Outputs of business analysis planning and monitoring knowledge area. 10 points for the first answer. First right answer. Not the output, name of output. It's not mandatory you put the exact same name. I will accept the a little bit abnormalities. The concept should be same. No, I need the exact name of the name of the output, name of the document. Business analysis approach. What is the document name? Okay, Asra Nadeem got one. Asra, try to write as many as you can. So, and rather than writing business analysis, write BA. So it will allow you to, like write everything together. Okay, I need all 5 or maximum whoever can have more answers. Output documents, outputs. No, that's not the document name actually. That's BA information man. These are still, you are telling me the same thing, which is task. Yes, I need, okay, I'll repeat. I need you to answer me the name of the output for all these 5 tasks. Name the output. Output names. Exactly. Farooq Salim got one. Farooq Salim, yeah, give me more. I need all 5. So whoever will give more. So Asra have one. Farooq have one. Now, try to write all the approaches together. Governance approach, which is our change control process or change management document. Absolutely right. Business analysis. Okay, information management approach. Asra got 2 points. Hassan, performance improvement. No, that's not the document. Okay. Stakeholder engagement approach. Great. Farooq and Asra is competing. BA performance approach. Yes, absolutely right. So I think we are here. We have winner. Asra is a winner because she gave 3 names. Thank you. Thank you, Asra. You got, okay, sharp, little bit late, but still it's missing the exact output name, but it's lot of it is fine. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. Can you note for Asra points? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now let's move to the next area of our discussion. It is the second knowledge area of business analysis, body of knowledge. It's chapter 4 in the BABOK that will be shared with you today. We have finished chapter 3, and now we are moving to chapter 4. I would say this is my uh, second most favorite area in the business analysis. Okay. The first one is strategic analysis, when we'll discuss. But why I like it so much, and a lot of people in the market are not doing it right. So this is very important. Okay, before BABOK was launched, before IABA was formed, before BABOK version 1, there was nothing called elicitation and collaboration. Okay, it was requirement gathering maybe that time when it was first launched. But even before that, when I was mentoring business analyst less informed than you, of course, the mashallah, here you are very much informed about the business analysis and all this stuff. So there I call it art of getting the right requirement. That's, trust me, this is the hardest part of any project, to get the right requirement. So the art of getting the right requirement is elicitation. So this is, trust me, this is art. This is really art, and you are going to learn it why it's art. Okay, before we start, let's see what we are going to cover in elicitation. So first we are going to cover in elicitation is what is elicitation. Okay, this hard word thing, what is it, and how it's different from the requirement gathering. Okay, and what does it mean by collaboration, elicitation and collaboration? This is the knowledge area, elicitation and collaboration. So what is elicitation and why it's with the collaboration, and the techniques for effective collaboration. We'll discuss certain specific techniques to learn it. Okay. Now let me ask you this question before we go into the detail. What is elicitation? How do you think it's different from the requirement gathering? How it is different from the requirement gathering? What is elicitation and how it is different from the requirement gathering? What is your idea? Details, yes. Yes, okay, Hassan, thank you. Elimination of raw requirement. Yes, it could be absolutely right. Okay. Anyone else? Can you differentiate how requirement gathering is different from elicitation? Okay, let me, okay, getting output processed information, yes. Collecting intelligent information from people. This is very well written. Intelligent information, like not the information that is there. We will discuss this. I'll explain, but I think most of you are already right. Okay, let's see with what is the most commonly, okay, that you used for collecting the requirement right now. How you collect the requirement right now? What is the most used technique? Okay, getting the hidden information. Muzaffar, absolutely right. It's a preparation phase where you have defined exact information of relevant stakeholder. Adnan is saying absolutely right. Okay, so which specific technique? There are a lot of technique to gather requirement, right? A lot of, which one do you use mainly? Mainly, I'm saying. Okay, most of the time you use that technique to collect the requirement. Is it really brainstorming that you use most of the time to collect requirements, Satken? Are you sure? Meetings, yes. So the meetings is like interviews, right, Muzaffar? Interviews, like collecting information from other people. That's
Yes.
what you mean? Absolutely right. Yes, interviews. I'm sure. Who else? Tell me. The most common technique that you use, like maybe you use 20 different techniques, but the one that you use mainly, like most of the time, to collect the requirement, identify and talking to right person. Again, interview, right? Questionnaire. Okay, let me tell you, questionnaire means you make a questionnaire and you send it to people so that they fill it and get it. This is the right type of requirement? But that's what you do, Shahab. That's what you do mainly. Identify and taking to the right person. Yes, absolutely. Adnan Sheikh, supporting documents. Okay, this is good way of getting the requirement from the document, Adnan. But that's what you do mainly, or you talk to people? What is the most commonly used? Brainstorming, stakeholders, yes. Discussion again goes to interview. I would say first to understand what actually user want, and how you do it, Hamid Abdullah. First to understand what actually user want. So Abdul Hamid Maiman, sorry. So how you do it? Like you do interview, or you do something else? Observation. Hassan is saying he observes to collect requirement. Brainstorming. Uh, Sending a template and fill BRD document. Yes, okay, that's one of the thing. And then mind mapping, understand business process flow, document analysis and review. Yes, beautiful. Okay, so if I see some common technique that I get from everybody is like discussion, meetings, and interviews, if I'm not wrong, right? That's what everybody mainly use, but some of them are different, little brainstorming sort of thing. Okay. Now, a lot of people also have mentioned brainstorming. Now we will learn that brainstorming is mainly wrong use. Okay, so it's wrongly used, and that's why we don't get what really needed from the session, because brainstorming, we'll learn that what is brainstorming today. Okay, so yes, absolutely right. Interview discussions are mainly used. We'll also learn today one of the most uh, technique that one of the most technique shown discussed here for this specific question is brainstorming and discussion meeting or interviews. So we said that brainstorming is not properly used. So we'll see that are you using it properly or not. We'll discuss this when we reach to brainstorming. But also I would like to explain the interview technique, which is mainly used, also mentioned here, like right now Mr. Adnan also mentioned discussion. So this technique is the hardest technique of all. Interview is the hardest technique of collecting the requirement. It's the hardest technique, and why it is hardest, I'll let you know. And but that's not meant that's a wrong technique to use it. That's the right technique, but it's the hardest technique. And why it is hard, you have to understand to do something to make it easy. Okay, now we'll learn that in detail when we discuss interview. Let's move forward. So first, why we are calling it elicitation, or art of collecting the right requirement? Why we are calling it elicitation? Why we are not calling it requirement gathering? So gathering means something is there already. like somebody said that document analysis and review, like Hassan said, document analysis review. Other people also mentioned document. So means it's already there. You go and collect it. Collection means somebody's there. You go and you collect your food. You go and you collect your grocery. Nowadays it's ready, pick up sort of thing, right? So it's collection. It's already there. It's prepared. But we all agree to something that whatever customer wants, he doesn't know that what he wants. So and what he tells you, it's more than what he wants. Okay, so he will tell you the wish list. The actual requirements will be somewhere hidden in the wish list. Okay, so collecting that information which is already there, we are still in the same picture, right? So we will not get the right requirement if we follow the same thing. Exactly. So the elicitation means discovering, as Mr. Abdul Hamid Mehman just mentioned. It's so we don't need to gather what's already there. It's already there. Anybody can go and do it. So why we are business analysts? Because we need to discover. Elicitate means dig down. It's not even discover. Discover is still easy, but digging down the information, digging down the information to find the right requirement. This is what you need. That's why you are responsible for solution delivery. Solution delivery is not easy. You think that you can follow project management practices and deliver the solution which will fulfill the customer requirement? Probably not. It may be on time, budget, as we discuss a lot. So having the right solution means you first have to have a right requirement, and the right requirement is not there. You can't go and collect it. You can't go and gather it. It's deep inside. Some people are hiding in their mind. Some people are hiding intentionally. But trust me, most of the people are not hiding it intentionally. They are hiding because they have communication issue. Now, a lot of people have mentioned that interview, discussions, meetings to collect requirement. When you meet people, you collect requirement. What you are thinking, he is like computer. You ask him a question and he will respond. No, there is something called recency. Recency. Have you heard recency? I'm sure you might have heard. If not, you will now understand. You know why some people in your organization will not do good work, efficient work, extra work in 9 months or 10 months from January to October, but they will start acting, coming on time, going late, efficiency, effectiveness, everything. They will do it from November and December, or October, November, and December. Why they do it, you remember? This is called recency, because they know that when the evaluation is done after 1 year, manager will evaluate based on recency, not the past performance. You call it whatever you want, but that's a recency. Probably 70% of his marks will come from recency. That's why these people will invest time on November, December, or maximum October, November, December, right? You'll find these people in the organization. They're very clever people. Okay, I like them, and that's why we put projects to their KPIs, so they're active whole year. Okay, so this is called recency. When you are meeting people, you are asking them questions. What is your requirement? How this and that? The response that you are getting is based on recency. So if there was a very critical issue that have let them spend maybe night in the bank, or was a great issue to be fixed, but because it happened a little bit far in the history, they don't remember it. You get my point? So they are talking on recency. This is number one problem. Number two, you are talking to somebody. Do you think that everybody have the same communication skills as you and me, that they can talk freely? There are there are people in your family, in your friends, in your office, you can see they don't talk. Everybody is talking, he's sitting quiet and just smiling when you see him. Do you think that when you go and ask him the requirements, he will just give you the requirements? No, it's not intentional. It's unintentional. He doesn't have a communication skill. It's not open. It's different mental process. So I got a question here from Adnan. What is the easiest way of digging down the people, proper right information? Adnan, you are not the only one who's looking for the easy way. Okay, but there is no easy way. Okay, but there is a way. That's not easy, but there is a way. It will become easy when you practice. Okay, and that's what we are going to discuss. Okay, so first you have to understand, as a business analyst, you are not responsible for gathering the requirement. You are responsible for eliciting the requirement. That's your responsibility. Stop throwing stones and garbage on the user that he's not giving the requirement. It's your responsibility. You have to get it, find ways, and there are ways. Now we are going to discuss that way. Okay. Okay, so elicitation is to collect. Elicitation knowledge area is to collect the information, and then not only collect, confirm confirm that information from the user as well. Like, okay, that's what I meant. Do you agree? Which is maybe minutes of the meeting or prototype if you are change driven. How we will measure. Okay, so Muzaffar is asking question that how we will measure whether the information provided is correct one. Usually, if you are a domain business analyst, you will know from the information. But the bigger issue is not that the information is correct or not. Definitely, that's the issue, of course. But you probably will be able to understand that. And there are ways to verification. Actually, the answer to your question is two-folded. So the first fold is that once we are learning different skills of techniques, you will learn that how to highlight the wrong information or the information which is not correct. But there is a bigger issue. The bigger issue is the quality of requirement. Even if it is the right requirement, okay, which 90% of the requirements will always be right. If you are a good business analyst, you will listen to what I'm explaining in next few slides, and you apply that. Trust me, that range right requirements will go from 90% to 99% or even 100%. You will find only one wrong requirement in your career, and for the end of your life, the end user will never give you a wrong requirement. There is a step to do it. I'll explain you when we discuss workshop. Don't take workshops as workshop or review discussion as easy discussion. These are the best way to build your repo, to expose people without actually exposing them, to force people to give the requirement without actually forcing them. I will tell you some tips and secrets which will really help you a lot, and that's we are going to discuss. But your answer I was giving is two-folded. One is that there are skills to identify, but the problem is not the wrong requirement that you will easily find it. The problem is the right requirement. The right requirement is written in two lines. Okay, even if that is right requirement, it may not be a good quality requirement. This is very important. It's right requirement. You are saying it's how we can say that it's a right or wrong. Wrong, very easy. Multiple techniques, your knowledge, you'll find out. I'll tell you. But the bigger problem is it actually the accurate requirement, or is it a good quality requirement? This is very important. So it's right requirement, but may not be a good quality requirement. If it's not good quality requirement, you will pass it on to your BA. Your BA will pass it on to maybe system, database architect, developer, tester, UAT, and when the product comes in, it's totally different because your requirement was right, but it was not good quality. So we will learn the quality parameters of the requirement. But I hope I answered your question. So mean if the quality of the requirement is more important, yes. Why it is more important? You are absolutely right. I would say yes, it's more important because controlling the wrong environment is easy process. Okay. Although if you have wrong requirement, you will develop something wrong, right? But so I can't say that's okay. But controlling it is easier as compared to controlling the good quality requirement. This is hard way, and we will learn that how to have a good quality requirement. How you will be able to answer by reading a requirement, that is it a good quality requirement or not. Okay, I have a question from Hassan. So he is not motivated to accept actual and correct process and maybe you need to rephrase this question. Meanwhile we proceed and come back to your question. Okay, you just need to rephrase that question. It's not that clear to me. Okay, so we were discussing that performing. So that's not only collecting the information, but also getting it confirmed. So, Muzaffar, when you will get this confirmed, it's through a session. So I'll tell you that how to. So this when you are getting the confirmation, and if the confirmation is formal, the wrong requirement will be eliminated to maximum extent. But I will tell you, you don't need to eliminate it. You have to finish it forever and build your repo as well. So there is a small trick to it. We will discuss this. Okay. Okay. Now, so you see, elicitation includes talking to stakeholder, of course, interviewing, meetings, researching the topics. Okay. So rather than this regulation comes in and go to user and explain me, you research what's happening, why this regulation was implemented, what is in it, what's in it. Read 20 pages document. If you are not a good reader, at least you can't be a good business analyst. We have to read a lot. If you are a BA, you will be the most reader person in your whole organization. That's reading is important for our profession. That's very important for this profession. Okay, so so this is important. Experimenting so this is very important. Experimenting certain things to see that it will collect the requirement. Uh, and also reading the documents which is already there, the user manual, the policies, the regulations. Okay, now this is one part of the elicitation, but the knowledge area is elicitation and collaboration. There are two different aspects. So elicitation means you go there and try to dig, but collaboration means you have to create an environment where people will be positive and ready to give information. Now this is possible. There is something called collaborative games that have been so successful in generating good quality requirements. I'll tell you, no need to apply games for every requirement, but you have to do it sometime for certain requirement, but it will create an impact that goes above and beyond for all other requirements as well. We will discuss this a collaboration. So if people are collaborating, there is a synergy. When there is a synergy, the output will not be 1 + 1 2, but it will be more than 2. So that's our objective in collaboration. We have to make people collaborate with each other as well as with you as a BA. So if you are developing a system for a department, there are two different people involved. They have to collaborate with each other so that you get the right requirement. They have to collaborate with you to get so that you get the right requirement. We'll discuss this in detail. Okay. This is the core concept model. We already discussed this, that this is how you evaluate whether the knowledge area is completed as per the standard or not. So I think you can go ahead and read it, but we will be discussing it again and again in different words, so I'll not spend time on that. This is again same thing, that it will tell you that you considered all the areas which are relevant to the elicitation. Okay, so elicitation again have 5 tasks. You remember this number 5? I'm sure Asra knows it because she answered all the questions correctly. So there are the 5 knowledge areas, 5 tasks in previous knowledge area, which is business analysis, planning, monitoring. 5 is the task in this elicitation knowledge area. 5 is the common number. I told you a lot of, you'll find it 5 tasks in each knowledge, not all, but most of them. So 5 tasks in elicitation. Number 1, prepare for elicitation. Now you have to plan for elicitation, that where I'm going, to whom I'm going to meet. Okay, and then you conduct the elicitation. You actually do it. And then once you do it, you noted a lot of requirement, which we call it stated requirement. Now you confirm those results, so they will be confirmed requirements. And then once a lot of information is there, you have to communicate the business analysis information. Like maybe you have to put those requirements into what you call it, minutes of the meeting, or SRS or FRS, and then you have to share it with the relevant people. And during the whole process, you have to manage the stakeholders' collaboration. Okay. So these are the 5 different tasks that we are going to discuss and learn today. Big time. Okay. So I've Kazi is asking for break. I think it's break time, 5:30. So guys, if you have any question, please put it on Slido. So we'll start after 10 minutes. It's 5:34. Okay, it's considered 5:35. We'll start at 5:45. Okay, 5:45, and we'll start with the questions. Okay, thank you very much. And then plan driven is better. Complexity, how hard it is. Okay, acceptance of your organization and the other people, that they will accept the plan driven approach or not, or they will not accept change driven approach. They want plan driven approach. They want everything plan first and then execute. So that's based on these, uh, you need to plan your approach accordingly. Once you plan the approach, then you have to engage the stakeholder plan, that you have to plan that how the stakeholders will be engaged. And for that, you have to do the stakeholder analysis. And then in a stakeholder analysis, you have to identify the stakeholders, their roles, their responsibilities. Okay, and sometimes it's not only you identifying the stakeholder, you have to support the relevant people like project manager to identify the right stakeholders. When you are identifying a stakeholder, you do something called stakeholder analysis. In stakeholder analysis, you identify stakeholders' needs and wants and then their expectation from the project. You also analyze the stakeholder stakeholders attitude. How are they? What is their attitude? Are they positive or negative towards the business, towards their goals, toward business analysis, towards sponsor? As much information as possible. Not everything is mandatory, as much as possible. And it also depends on the type of project you are doing. Also, you analyze the stakeholder influence on project. Okay, and the requirements. There are different types of there are different ways to do the stakeholder analysis. Recce metrics is one of it. Stakeholder matrix is one of it. Onion diagram, we discussed that it's like an onion, and you put what you focus most on each layer. Okay. Then we also did a small exercise of stakeholder analysis where every one of you have made a small analytics and stakeholder analysis, and that was just to give you a feeling that if you spend a little time on a paper for your stakeholder, this makes a little significant difference. Okay, then we discuss about governance approach, which is change control process, and we discuss that we have to decide how the decisions will be made in the project. Decision, not the decision, project management decision, the business analysis decisions related to our activity, how the change will be controlled, not the change in the project, but in the requirements. Okay, and how we will prioritize the requirements and how the approvals will be done. After that, we discuss business analysis information management, that how the business analysis information will be managed, like what documents will be created, what level of detail will be included in each document, what traceability will be maintained. Are we going to maintain documents traceability, requirement traceability or not? How it will be done, which tools will be used. Then we planned for requirement for reuse. What are the requirements that will be reusable in my project? And what are the other projects reusable requirement that I can use? How my documents requirement, minutes of the meeting, SRS, FDS will be stored, how it will be named, and how it will be accessed. Okay, and then we identify what requirement attributes we are going to maintain. Requirement attributes include the priority, who given, when it was given, related module, impact, parent, child. All this are requirement attributes. We'll discuss this in detail. Requirement attributes we'll discuss detail in the coming slides. Then we discuss about the business analysis performance improvement. So first we have to plan certain criteria within the project, that how business analysis activities will be planned. Then we have to monitor and then collect the results and then analyze those results and then take action. Action could be preventive, corrective, or improvement. Okay, I hope this short recap was maybe okay for you. Now the next point, somebody asked about the elicitation. So I'm going to explain the word elicitation and the difference of elicitation and gathering. So when we are saying requirement gathering, it's mean gathering. Like it's something is already there, you are just gathering it, or requirement collecting, or you just go there and collect it. Okay, so it's totally different from what we are learning, what business analysts is capable of, and what business analysts should do. You should not gather, you should elicitate. Elicitate means dig down, bring forth. Something is hidden, unhide it, bring it forward. So it's your responsibility as a business analyst not to, not to let the requirement hide behind the walls, but you have to bring it forward. If it's inside somebody who doesn't have a communication skills, you have to learn it. We'll learn a lot of skills to do that. Thank you, Arif. Now let's. I think namaz break is over. Okay, I want just few yes on the slide from the people who went for Salah. Are they back? Shall we start? Only from the people who went for Salah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we will start now. Okay, so let's start with a small question. Okay, a very big question. What kind of challenges you face in elicitation or requirement gathering phase that you do? What challenges you face? I really like this picture, the one you are seeing on the screen, trust me, because if we can use these tools, like we can get a good requirement. I'm sure Hassan will agree with me because Hassan was having these problems of getting wrong requirements and people are negative. So, okay, domain expertise. I'm getting that domain expertise is one of the biggest challenge. Yes, stakeholder. If you don't have a domain knowledge, of course, that would be one of the biggest challenge. And this actually, there are lots of different issues with that. Okay, Asra is saving difference in opinion. Sorry, Sayyid Arif Raza, communication skills, negativity, trade expertise, exposure means like the domain expertise of the other person. Hassan Raza, user does not accept to eliminate his requirement. True. Okay, this is good point. Okay, Hassan. A very good point that uh, customer or user will say that we don't accept any change. We need this. We need everything. I need everything. Okay, this is good point. Response from stakeholder is not positive. Okay, thank you, Adnan. Kashif, we must have a good grip over the subject. True. Yes, Kashif, I think I get your point now. So, in order to dig down the information, the higher domain knowledge you have, the better it will be for you. Absolutely right. I totally agree. And that's why it's a continuous investment. That's why I was saying that reading is more important for business analysts than than anyone in this whole project area. Why? Because the more you read, the more knowledge you gather for that specific domain. Okay, Abdul Hamid is saying that requirements are not clear. This is our major issue. Most of the time, users say I'm busy. Oh wow, this is this is classic. Trust me, yeah, this is what we mostly hear. So they don't have time. I agree. Conflicting requirement. We get a requirement which conflicts with another module or another area. Attitude. His attitude is not positive. Kash was saying his attitude, negative attitude, or maybe negative attitudes. You are here to waste my time, or I'm busy. So, okay, makes sense. Yes, the all identified issues are absolutely okay, and you are going to get answers to all these issues now. Let's see. So first of all, we are going to discuss how to prepare for elicitation to avoid lots of issues that are mentioned here. Then we will learn that how to conduct and document the requirements in order to make sure that we have maximum requirements. Then how we can confirm the results, and then how to communicate the business analysis information, and while maintaining the stakeholders engagement and collaboration. Okay. So let's first discuss prepare for elicitation. If you are very well prepared for elicitation, the issue of user busy can be reduced, cannot be eliminated, but it can be reduced. Okay, if you are very properly well prepared for elicitation. Okay, how you can be well prepared for elicitation is that first of all you have to understand the scope of your elicitation. Like, what are you going to elicitate? If you are going to elicitate a process, okay, how it works, and this works for everything. Yeah, this works for everything separately. For example, you might can say that I have to get the requirement. I have to get requirement for one specific automation, uh, but for that automation we have to collect requirement from people. Okay, so that's a scope of that specific elicitation is getting the requirement directly. But other could be to read the documents, other could be to monitor their process. So this goes for everything, for this goes separately for everything. So first you have to understand what you are going to elicitate. So in one project you could say that I'm going to elicitate or information related to their current working habits or current working process, how they are working right now, what Excel sheets they are filling, what websites they are using, what information they are inputting, or what systems, or maybe there are systems that you want to understand that, like what information is there that I can use to develop that report. So the scope of elicitation, see, it's different. If you want to understand the systems, it's totally different. You don't need to go anybody. You just like use your expertise for queries and all this ERD stuff, export the data, or and then check how it's working and how you can get data. But if you want to meet people, it's different. You want to see process, different. So in advance, plan it. What information you want to get from user, what information you want to get from process, and then based on that scope, choose the right technique. If you want to get the process information and you think that you will go for interview session and get the process information, you are actually thinking wrong. Trust me. So if somebody will tell you the process by talking, that you will get 50% of the process. That's always true. So in order to learn the process, you have to execute the process. Okay, so that's the point. So you have to understand what's your scope and then choose the technique that suits that. Okay, now while choosing technique, there is very important tip. Tip is that you should not you should not use one technique to collect the requirement. Very basic. Like for example, you say, all right, I will take interview to collect the requirement. That's wrong. Always substitute your requirement elicitation or gathering phase with another minimum one more technique. Don't go with one single technique. Always put minimum two techniques. If this is 3, 4, I'll be happy. If it is 5, I'll be like jumping I'll be jumping hearing out. If it is 6, you are marvelous. So the more the best, but minimum 2. Never compromise requirement gathering on one single technique when you choose a technique for elicitation. Always use minimum 2 techniques. And which are these 2? We will discuss these in detail. That every thing have a different techniques, and there you can apply 2 techniques to anything, any specific type of requirement. Then once now you are planning, you didn't go to customer yet, you are still in your table, open your Excel sheet, and you are still planning, okay, I have to elicitate that, and for this I will apply this technique, I'll apply this technique, for that I'll apply that technique and that technique. And now set up logistic where the meeting will happen. Is that meeting room, you have to book that meeting room. If you are reading documents, search, like identify where you will be getting those documents, who will be giving you that documents. If you are collecting a requirement through some presentation, make sure the room contains the TV, the room contains the screen, multimedia, projector, everything. If a meeting is going to be 5 hours, make sure there is there is enough space or to serve them, or if your company doesn't have policy for that. So there should be proper breaks, like this training. There should be proper breaks for Salah breaks and things like that. We'll discuss one more thing in observation, that which is called personal private time. Every 1 hour, people need 10 minutes time. This is very basic that we forget when we are meeting people in their collecting the requirements or review sessions. Every 1 hour, at least 10 minutes. Everybody needs its private time. Maybe that number is already changed. That is 8 years old study that I'm telling you. Okay, so this is very important. So you have to give that time to people. Okay, they might need to answer their phone call. They might are habitual to use some social media stuff. They have to update. So that's okay. That's as far as they're giving you the right requirement. We'll discuss this in observation in detail. Okay, set up logistic, set up proper rooms, set up proper equipments. Okay, if you need them to be prepared and bring something, tell them in advance. Bring your file. Okay, things like that. Then secure the supporting material. Don't go empty handed. If a business analyst come to me empty handed, whether it's not in his laptop or his hand, then you lose half of the requirement. This is psychological thing. So prepare yourself. Okay, maybe if you are gathering the requirement, like if there is a new regulation, for example, from State Bank or SECP, and you are going to meet your end users for that, print out those regulations, read it, highlight, take notes, and take it to them. This will create your reputation. This will tell them from one single uh, view that he is prepared. Okay, and he is spending his time. So this is very important. Support the secure the supporting materials. This is very important. And then prepare your stakeholder. Don't surprise them. Okay, always in your meeting request, always add minimum 2 reminders. One reminder 1 hour before the meeting, another meeting, another reminder 5 minutes before the meeting. Trust me, the reminder which is 5 minutes before the meeting works best. And I'm sure you agree with me, right? The reminder which is 5 minutes, but I would say even 3 minutes earlier, with that will work even better. So this is very important. At least add 2 reminders, prepare them, remind them. When you are finishing the meeting, remind them for the next plan. Okay, but this is important. Okay, now we'll take some questions. I have a question from Hassan Raza Khan. Sometime communicated stakeholder does not have its domain knowledge and just want to perform habitual job or want to see system like which he has worked. Okay, of course this is true that they might I would not agree that they don't have domain knowledge usually, but again this part is absolutely right, that they want you to develop something that they have already used. This is common. This is very common. And how you can fix it? See, usually when you say people do not have domain knowledge, you have to consider that there might be a communication issue. They cannot communicate it properly. So first of all, you have to consider yourself as you can say as collaborative. All right, so you have to help him understand his requirement. This is also important. So see, I mentioned in elicitation now that prepare for elicitation. Okay, prepare for elicitation. I said secure supporting material. So secure supporting material before the elicitation. So when you ask them to give you certain material, okay, and maybe they don't have it, so you can even tell them they should also prepare for this area, for this thing. So if somebody doesn't have a domain knowledge, okay, and you know this because you might have better domain knowledge, and then you will try to talk to him in the tone, on the lines that he will feel like embarrassed that this guy is trying to put me down because he have more domain knowledge. So this guy will start acting smart and try to give you requirements that are not properly right, and will make hassle with you. So if you know the better knowledge, if you have better domain knowledge than him, the best way is to help him. So rather than asking a question, or rather than putting him in the position that if he said something wrong, you said, no, this is not possible, how are you saying this, things like that, you could say, why don't you see this aspect? I have came across this aspect as well while reading this thing. Why don't you consider this aspect? Or as this is very important, I'll tell you, after 2 or 3 meetings, the customers will forget what they've said. Even if they don't forget, they really like when you quote them. This is the beauty of verbal communication. For example, try it with your friend. You have told me this. यानी कि उर्दू में इस तरह बोलते हैं, यार तुमने याद है, तुमने ये बात कही थी, मुझे आज तक याद है. So put something like this. Hey, you have said that this works like this. Now, he never told you this, but this is the right approach. You have said that this is the right approach. So if it is the right approach, and putting on his word will really help you, because he maybe he doesn't remember, but people like to be quoted. Okay, and you are quoting him, it means you are he's very important to you and you are listening to him. So this is the way that like you can handle the domain knowledge thing for the customer. And if you don't like the system, he want to develop something which he already like, then you have to find that what are you really going to value add. Because if he really still liked the system that he had and it was very good, there is no harm in copying that actually. But the point here is, if you can develop something better than that, then do that. Tell him, if he have seen the system, tell him, okay, let's do one thing. I'm still unable to get all your points. So let me do one thing. Take me to that system. Arrange some screenshots. Let us discuss that system. What's the problem? If there is some good system, what's the problem? Why to reinvent the wheel? Wheel is already developed, round wheel is developed. No need to again think that it should be square or triangle. No, let it be round. Let's work on tubeless, tireless, or maybe hoverboard sort of thing. Okay, so this is to answer you. Sayyid Shah is saying doesn't know what he wants. Yes, help him. Help him. If he is not the right stakeholder, try to add somebody who is the right stakeholder to your list. That's what I'm saying. Last meeting we discussed that if he's not the right stakeholder, you have to help the project manager to get the right stakeholder, or help him. Sometimes there is no right stakeholder. Okay, I explained you that when you ask for the people, you get chota bacha, chotu chai wala. You get chotu. The departmental head is best, but you get chotu. And trust me, this is good, because if you get the actual head, he will not have time. You will have more issues. So what you can do, use him and then add that other departmental head for reviews. Okay, but in this scenario, when you have been given with chotu, and you know that given department head would be more issues, so it's better you make win-win. You use the chotu, but in that scenario, you have to have better domain knowledge, because he doesn't. But when you have more domain knowledge, then same issue will come as Hassan, that he doesn't have domain knowledge. So help him. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Tell him that to check this out, to see this process. Let's see this process together, how it works. Okay. Say these kind of things. Help him. See, you have to elicitate. That's what I'm saying. It's art of getting right requirement. This is no like scientific way of doing it, like get it from the system. This is an art. You have to perform it. Okay. And you have to perform in front of people, with them, along with them. Okay, so this is how you prepare for elicitation. Do we have any more questions on preparing, because we are moving to next
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we are moving next to next task, which is, now as we are prepared, we have to conduct the elicitation. Means like actually do it, go and talk to people. Okay, so this is about exploring the information, because see, whatever you are going to gather or you are already getting, it's very easy. It can be like somebody said that send the document to them and they will fill the BRD. It's already there. You will get that anytime you want. It's already there. So when you, as a business analyst, you will try to go deep, to explore, to identify the information related to the change. This is very important. So when you are eliciting the requirement, find out why this change is important, why we are doing this project, what is the what is the key behind it? If it is even a regulation change, is there anything that, is there any other benefit that we can get out of this change? Although if it is only a regulatory report and regulatory framework implementation, then makes sense that there will be no other, like big benefit. But try to find it. Sometimes you find it that, like implementing certain things in your system will help your system be more secure or being more proactive, or these reports could be used in some other areas as well, or maybe enhanced. So ask them that we are making this regulatory report, for example, will this help you in any other reporting mechanism that you are doing on daily, weekly, monthly basis? Force them to think. If they are not ready to think, tell me what are the reports that you do on weekly basis and monthly basis, and then try to make sense. Tell them, see, if we do this report, you can avoid using these 2 reports. Maybe I'm just throwing stone in the water just to, like, make some vibration, but think like this. So it will not change anything, but it will give an impact to your solution. Other people will think that, yeah, there is another benefit to it which they doesn't know, and you find out. So this is your value addition. Okay, it was there, but you find out. So that's your value addition. But try to think in this direction. Try to find out why we need this. If there is no other way, then what other benefits we can get out of it? Okay, so this is what called collaboration. So you have to, when you are conducting the elicitation, be collaborative. Direct the interaction. Tell them to do this. Tell them, let's bring this. Let's do this. Let's see this. You read the file, I will come and we will discuss. No, let's read it together. I'll make the presentation of this drama. Let's review it together. If you are discussing a regulation, I told you, read it, highlight it, make notes. Go to him, say, I have already read it. These are the points. Have you read it? No, let's read it together. Okay, and discuss your points. So this will help. This is called collaboration. You do your work, you fill the document, I'll review. Thank you very much. And not business analysis, actually. Anybody can do it. Okay, so you don't need to attend this course and do CBAP preparation for all this thing. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to be, like, proactive, so collaborative. Okay, I'm getting few questions. People gets offensive. Yes, they might be. Yes, so it depends on building a repo first. So you have to first build the repo. You can't just meet somebody for very first time and start doing it. I agree. So you have to build your repo first. Show your attitude. See, you understand the word personality. My question is from Muhammad Monis Ali. He asked very right question, that people get offensive when you do things like that, and I agree. So Sayyid Monis, do you know what is called personality? You have any idea? Like, we use this word. See, the person has a great personality. Do you know what does it mean, personality? Let me explain you. Personality means, if you already know it, it's good. If you don't, then personality is something that you are not. That is why it's called personality. Personality is something that you are not. That's why it's called personality. Do I wear this suit while I'm sleeping or at home or playing? Okay, but you can't imagine me without this suit. Maybe I'm wearing only just for this class, but that's how you see me. So that becomes my personality. You think I'm always wearing two-piece. Maybe if you find me wearing t-shirt, you will not relate it to me. That's called personality. Now understand this thing. It's a small psychological factor. And that's why I'm saying it's arts. You have to perform it. So understand this small point, that you have to show your personality to him. That gives him the impression you are collaborative. That builds repo, and then it comes ahead. The results come ahead. So it's not like you do it immediately. It's like you walk the talk and the results comes in. So yes, people may get offensive if you just try to do it. So first, you are building your repo is important. And remember the word personality. People see and feel you what you show them. It doesn't matter that what you are. The matters is what you show them. Maybe you are a very negative person. For example, consider me, I'm a very negative person. I always, backbite people and, like things like that. Every negative thing is in me, for example. But if I talk to you and I talk in very right, sweet manner and I understand you, and so that's my personality to you. That's what you know. What I'm, that doesn't matter. So that's very important, that you have to make your reputation of a certain personality. How to build the rapport during COVID, as we are doing only online meetings? Yes, that's even easier actually. So like body language is not involved, which tells a lot of left and right things, because when you think something, it takes a little bit time for a body to accept it. Okay, so even if you are really not good at it, like you are not good you're not good in communication, for example, so your body language will take effect. So even when you are talking, your body expressions will not be so supportive to you. So this could help even like even during corona, you can talk to people on call and like avoid this body language thing. So yes, you can do this. Meeting means like online meeting, so maybe uh, have a call sometime, check his status, send some like on this. If he is on Facebook, like something, it's okay. Like make a rapport development is a process actually. Once you are in that process, I'm sure you might have a lot of contacts in your WhatsApp. Do you have somebody who sends like little bit jokes here and there? Hi, how are you? Something. So see, think about it, how you relate his repo for you as compared to others. So these are all little like little drops that works. COVID is not an excuse, and actually for me nothing is excuse. So what I do is like I always try to find how to do in during the time, then to like, for example, consider this meeting, we are in front, right, and we are asking questions and I'm trying to answer, although I'm single processor, so this is a problem, but I'm trying to answer like it's a live environment. See, Muzaffar, consider yourself like you ask and you get your questions. It was like a live environment. Otherwise, online training bringing this kind of interaction was hard, but we did it. First day when you tried to access slido.com, it was, oh wow, what is this? Maybe another hassle for us, but now you know how to use it. Maybe the first day the quiz was hard, but now you know how to do it, you really enjoy it. So this is the way, like there are always ways to do it, and even better ways to do it. So I'm sure you will find it more, you'll try to find positivity in this, and you'll be able to do it. I'm sure you will be able to do it. There are always ways. Yes. So do we have any other question, or shall we move forward? I think my screen sharing. Screen. Okay. Okay, I think screen sharing was stopped. Okay. Any other questions on elicitation or conducting the elicitation? So we move forward, I ask. Within some organization like HB, BRD need to be filled by BA for business team, IT BA, who is the actual responsible as business run forward to actual requirement for its. Yeah. So yeah, if so, I have a question from Hassan asking that BRD need to be filled by BA for business team. So business team IT BA, who is actually responsible for business run forward, to give actual requirement as it required effort. I'm trying to understand this question. Maybe if you can little bit rephrase it, because I'm confused in the BA team, IT and things.
There is one BA in business team, and IT is also having a BA, respective BA. Okay, when business team gives some sort of requirement, they don't want to fill BRD, but what is who is the actual responsible person? I think business team is.
See, it's actually according to the thing that you briefly explained, it seems that they are the one responsible. But again, we can't comment until I can't comment fully until I know the whole structure. But the way you are explaining, it seems that they are the one responsible. Okay, but you can help them actually. Once you get the BRD and you find out this is not there, what have you learned, like business value, business case, ask them, see, I want to understand what is the business value that this is going to create. Ask them this question, and tell them you might already have it, so they might can share it, or maybe they can tell you it's not your business, so you can go ahead and do it by yourself. Okay, so within same organization, like, okay, how to build the rapport. Okay, I asked, thanks for these sessions, logistics were not set up right by the BA. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely. Not only BA, actually the project management failure as well. Okay, yeah, you're right. Excellent. Okay, let's move to the next thing. So when you are conducting the elicitation activity, you are facilitator. Consider yourself as facilitator. Okay. Okay. How to get requirement detail? I have a question from Anonymous. Please change your name so that you can get participation point, as well as we know that who's asking this question. How to get requirement detail from operation department? User who don't know complete scope about the change and its impact. See, this is the point. If you ask the right question, you will know that he doesn't know. So you will ask him, let us we will get this information together. Let you do this homework, and we will meet tomorrow. Maybe we meet your boss, and we'll try to get this requirement. It's okay. Get all the requirements and use that. Keep that information pending, that we need this information, we cannot proceed any forward without this. Help him to get this information. Let this information be his win. Let him feel that he was the one who got the actual business value of this solution. Let him feel your winning is the right solution delivery. Your winning is not the getting the business value, find out for this thing. No, it's his success. Let him feel that success. Give him credit for that success. Okay. So I think now once you, I think questions are over. Yes, Hassan, have a question. Sir, is it easy to help and convince harsh people? Okay, see, I'll tell you that there are two different types of people, okay, when you talk about harsh people. Uh, there are people which are harsh with you, and there are people which are harsh with everyone, okay? Now, this is very important point. See, I remember one of my business analysts was a lady. So, like, so there was a. I want to give you this example that how it works. So, like, there was another lady in a government institution, and she was very harsh, very famous with everyone. Okay, and like when ladies meets with ladies, like their harsh thing could go to any extent. So I remember she handling her by saying a very simple word, that is, we are not relatives, we are not friends, right? We are professionals. We work together and we help each other. I'm here to help you. Are you there to help me? So this was one single line, but that was on a very right timing, but that really impacted a lot. So she was still harsh, but she became very professional for that thing. Now I'm not saying apply the same thing with you, but yes, don't try to convince them, try to handle them. Okay. Now, Asra Nadeem is having a question. Should we conduct elicitation session stakeholder wise, like at one time conducted with ops staff, then with business user? Beautiful question, Asra. Beautiful question. I'll answer this one right away. I need to read the next question. Again, from Asra Nadeem, it will help us to further narrow down our solution of scope of elicit. You are absolutely right. I would like to answer this thing. This is very, very beautiful, excellent question that comes after the discussion that I'm explaining, that it's better to have with one person. Now, see, if the solution is for two different people and there is one solution which will serve both of the department, then better sessions are both of them together. But you have to understand, there will be some requirement that you need from one department. There will be some requirement that you need from other department. And there will be some requirement that you need from both of them together. Okay, so you have to segregate that. And yes, you are right, you can do this, but remember one thing, in this whole scenario, the most important session will be where you bring both of them together. This is important. You can't have a solution if the solution you are working on is for both of them anyhow, then they have to bring it together. Now this session will be very critical. How you plan that and how you work in that, how you collaborate in that session is important. We will learn something called collaborative games and the other techniques of review that will help you in this one. But yes, doing it alone is better, but in any case you have to bring them together at least for a smaller time, but you have to do that. Muhammad Azhar Javed, sorry for writing again. You skipped my question. Extremely sorry, Mr. Azhar, for that. Is there, if there is no business owner, like if I'm working on my own projects, so how I'll perform elicitation? Okay, okay. This is a good question. So what I'm trying to understand here is it's your own project. You are making a solution by yourself for you, right? If this is the scenario, then whatever you develop, you have to accept. So your acceptance criteria is the one that that is most. So how you can do that is have your acceptance criteria in place, that how you will accept that product. What will be your acceptance criteria? Like try to write few lines about that this product should be this, should have this, and that could be a good starting point for you. So when you are writing your own acceptance criteria, that time you are wearing a hat of end user, or I call it sponsor. Okay, you wear that hat, and once you finish that, it's mean the sponsor data is ready, and then you start thinking about how to fix these things. Then you became a business analyst. So you have to wear two hats in this scenario. The best way to do it is that you start writing the acceptance criteria, why you need this project, what is the benefit, how you will do it, how it should be done, and what is the benefit of this one, what will happen so that I will accept this project, like what are the basic things that I will accept. Once you are thinking like this, you are the owner, and once that document is done, then take that paper and read that paper like you're a business analyst and this was the BRD given to you, and you start from there. This could be the right approach. Actually, where maybe some of you might heard this question and thinking like, what kind of scenario is this? But trust me, this is right scenario. This happens to us. This happens to me. Like, because we are, I'm in a business where we are creating things. Okay, so like for example, when you try to create something, a new thing, then you don't have anybody to go. So you are the one, you are the topmost. So there are only two ways to do it. Very valid question. Two ways to do it. First, you wear the hat of owner, sponsor, a business user, write everything like acceptance criteria, business value, why it's needed, when it's needed, what is the acceptance criteria, and then become this end user. So this will help. One more thing that could help you is that while you are a business owner, thinking like a business owner for that specific document, you try to compare yourself with the competition, that what competition is doing, benchmark yourself. So this will also detail out some of the requirement that will be helpful once you remove the cap of owner and wear the cap of business analyst. I hope I answered your question. Oh, there were Okay, I have a question from Shiraz. Are there any techniques to handle rigid mindset user to provide what we need during elicitation? Yes, yes. So yes, there. I would say rigid, not rigid, but yes, there will be a people who have communication problem, and there will be people who are hiding the information intentionally because they don't want to share that information. So yes, there is a way of handling them. We will discuss this in the techniques. Shiraz Ahmed, to wear business owner hat, you need to be domain expert. Must thing to have. Yes, because see, if you don't have domain expertise, okay, you don't have a business owner with you, and you are your own business analyst, and probably so this all things cannot work together. So what you can do is, before starting the business analysis activity, try to get the domain knowledge as much as possible, and then build on that. Anything else? I think we have all the questions for this area, so we can move forward 10 more minutes. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much for your questions. It was great. It seems that we are interacting. Excellent. Okay. So once you collected the requirements, now you have to confirm the results. Send in form of minutes of the meeting, send in forms of SRS, whatever is your acceptable or agreed format in BA planning and monitoring phase, whatever you agreed, send that document, get the results confirmed. Okay. 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 There are two uh, two steps to get the requirements confirmed. There is validation of the requirement and there is verification of the requirement. So your objective is not to only get the requirements verified, but also to get the requirement validated. There is a difference between verification and validation. Verification means the requirement that I stated is right, means good quality. We will learn the quality of requirement. So it's a good quality requirement means like if I am reading it and you are reading it, we are both understanding the same thing. It is same as the user explained you. This is verifying. Validating means this will solve the problem. The solution, that requirement, whatever is it, this is the actual problem, or if this is the solution, it will actually solve the problem. This is called validation. Okay, so you have, your objective should be to validate, verify and validate. Okay. Now, once you get the requirements verified and validated, which is confirming the results, confirming the elicitation results, you have to communicate those verified or validated information. So if you see the sequence, you prepared for elicitation, you conducted elicitation. As soon as you conducted elicitation, you got the requirements which are called uh, stated requirements. Okay. Once you get stated requirements, you send it for verification and then validation. After verification of from the peer colleagues, everything, whatever end users and everything, so you get this requirement are called verified requirements. Then you validated those requirements for the solution. These are validated requirements. Okay. And then now at the fourth step, you are communicating the business analysis information. If you see now, the requirement word is gone. It's the information. Why is we are calling it information? Because now all the requirements are validated, linked to the solution, and maybe in a document, maybe SRS, DS, FDS, from the minutes of the meeting, they are converted. And you are communicating that. When you are communicating that, you will not send all the requirements to everybody. So you have to make a document with executive summary, to make sure that whoever you are sending, you're sending the right required document. So for example, somebody needs detailed document, somebody needs only high level executive summary, somebody needs solution oriented response. So you have to make that. One more thing that I want to discuss here, and then we will finish today's session, is that make things in package. Okay, now for example, you collected a requirement. Now if you are in agile or scrum model, then it's okay. Every day there is every week there is a discussion, every week there is a minutes of the meeting, every day there is every week there is development, and every 2 weeks there is release. So that's okay. But if you are in a plan driven approach, that probably you are, then there will be 3 months of requirement collection. Now 3 months of requirement collection, after that you send a document called SRS. Now SRS, FDS, whatever you call that document, but it is consists of the actual requirements of functionalities that is needed. Now that document is maybe like 100 pages, 200 pages, sometime 500 pages. Okay. So now don't wait for the whole document to send. There is a big issue. If you are not doing it, you are already expert in this area. But if you are still doing it, that you are arranging all the documents and sending it together high volume, it's for verification and validation and sign off. This is a big issue. You have to package it, you have to divide that information, maybe screen wise, every screen take the separate sign off. Maybe for every not a screen, if not a screen, if a screen is not the case, a specific process. take the sign off for each process separately, but make packages. Don't consolidate everything and then send, because there is a big issue in sending everything together. Okay, I would like to share a small story here before we end the session. So I was personally working as a lead. I was working as a business analyst lead for a investment bank. Okay, and we were making something, you call it like world's very first at that time middle management system that got obsolete already, that area, but still, but that was something like this. Okay, so middle management system. Okay, middle office risk management system. So we were making that thing. Okay, and the major stakeholders given us requirement, we collected that requirement, we made a document. It was like 230-40 pages of requirements, and we give it to them, and then we followed up, pressurized. At the end, we got the requirement sign off. We developed an application, we tested it, we went back to the person, and we presented him the system. And the first screen he sees started I asking few things. It's not there, it's not there. And for everything, I told you, arrange your supporting material. So for everything, I had a printed, signed, stamped copy of SRS. I just put it in front of him. See, that's you said sign. That's you said sign. Maybe after 2 or 3 days of session, we had lots of gaps. And then after 3 days, because I was showing him then and there and call it Bible for this system and all this stuff. So he said he went to his seat and opened his drawer after like a lot of different stuff in his desk. He got one book and put it in front of me. He said, Abu Bakr, what is this? I read it was something like risk management, middle office, something certification, something guide. I said, yeah, it said, no, it's my promotion. I said, what? Yeah. He said, you know, my designation for past 6 months. This is my promotion. If I just get this certified, I'll be promoted. I'll have better car, better salary, better incentives. Okay, now see the next thing he said. He said, open the book, see the last page. I said, how many pages? I said, it was 280 pages, something. He said, okay, now where is your book? I bring that book. He said, how many pages? I said, almost same. He said, if I didn't read this whole book, which is related to my promotion, my increment, my better lifestyle, do you think that I will read something which is not story, not related to me? It is the same thing that I told you is written there. Do you think that I'll read the 280 pages for you and sign everything? If you were expecting this, you are a fool, he said me. And trust me, I still feel that's a failure. And but that was something very big learning for us, that like people will not read. And there are two aspects of it. Even if you will break it down, like I said, packages, send it for each module, still they will not read it. So there is a way that you have to do in start for them to read it. What is it? First send them and see if they read it or not. If they don't read it, if you know that they don't read it, put a wrong information in that document. This is important. Put a wrong process. Put something which is wrong, like actually wrong. Like if the process is A, B, C, you make it A, C, B, D, or remove B, or remove B and D and just write A and D and write it. Send it to them, and they will approve it if they are not reading it. And once they approve it, call for a review session where even the end user and his boss is there and discuss that this is the requirement that we are reviewing. We'll do this, and his manager or maybe himself will say, no, it's not like this. Really, sir? But you approved this requirement. We're just going to develop. Or go with to them that we have some confusion, that you already approved it, but in development we find something is there. But don't discuss with him alone. Discuss along with the supervisor, boss, or whatever. So you'll say, no, maybe yeah, you misunderstood. You said, yes, maybe my mistake. That's why we write in minutes of the meeting and send it to you so that you can accept. Maybe it just went through your eye. Just try to read it next time. That's why we are not sending a lot of things. We are sending 1 minute of the meeting every day. It takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes to read it. But next time he will be he'll be all open eyes when you receive your minutes of the meeting. Same thing. So these are small little tricks that you can do to make sure that things improve. Okay, so maybe you might already have questions on this. So we have to maybe if you can write your question on notepad or word file, whatever, so that tomorrow we ask with questions related to communicating business analysis information. So we have to end it now because we are already finished with the time. Okay, guys. So I'm starting a poll here for this training, and would appreciate your response. Just whatever questions you have, just help me. Just note it down on your notepad. Okay, before going, I think I already received 2 questions. I want to answer those because they are already there. So Shiraz is asking, are there any techniques to handle? Okay, I think we already answered that. Shiraz is again asking, to wear business owner hat, you need to be domain. I think we already answered these. Okay, there is no pending question from previous. So for this communication, please, whatever question you have, note it down in notepad, save it on desktop. So tomorrow you can ask.
Sir, I just want to ask, there is a website, when I open it, it's for attendance. So do we have to put our attendance on that website, or you people are taking it daily on daily basis?
Yeah, so your attendance is automatically coming to us through Zoom. So
Okay.
if you have put the right name in the Zoom, that is okay. I guess some people have maybe a default mobile name in Zoom. I see Realme or something. So I suggest you to change your name in Zoom at least. Ready Me or Ready Me, yeah. So change that name so that like Zoom can have your attendance. So Zoom is maintaining all the attendance, all the timing, so nothing to worry. I have started a
So Myla, we are also maintaining it. Don't worry.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
I have started a poll for this training. Please give your feedback, and then whatever questions you have, we can start from the question tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure again, and we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you.